Thank you, man, again for this opportunity. Um, I think this platform is also helping a lot, because I was busy with some other things. Then I was just called to say this. There's a space you might need to be there because some of the things that you guys are doing might need more ventilation of what you are trying to do. Yes, it's true. It's correct. I had some back and forth with some guys, the lawyers who are now handling the case. We are still on the building stage of building the case. Then different information that we are getting, some might be useful, some might be chunked out, not being part of the case. I'm not a lawyer, I'm a financial expert. What I do is to make sure that there's a proper platform for making sure that whatever the atrocity that are happening in Zimbabwe, they then get canvassed on the international space. I mean, on the international stage. Good thing is that we are also having an access of some of the minister in the country, like Minister Ronald Lamola. I'm sure you know the man. So we're trying to make sure that before we even officially launch this case, we have to sit down with the minister and also indicate, so we can also have the government backup. What we are saying, that other people or minister or people in the cabinet ministry of the country are also supporting what we are doing. This is not an issue of an individual, as some may perceive it. What we are trying to do is to say we can see what, I mean, we can't run away with the fact of what is happening in South Africa, but at the same time, we can also run away with the injustice that is also happening in Zimbabwe. It's not only in Zimbabwe alone, also across the border in the entire continent. The same thing that is happening when people are being told to go back to their country, and they find the atrocity being paraded on the daylight. How then you are expecting people to get integrated back to the community where the atrocity has become something to be paraded even before kids? We felt there should be something that we can do, and this is some of the things that we're trying to do. It must be said that we are not sent by South African government, because it's also important, because at some point in some corridors we have people saying we might have been sent by government, South African government. We have nothing to do with South African government except to be citizens of South Africa. That's the only thing that link us with South African government. But also to respect our own government. We also, when we're doing things like this, of this magnitude, it will even be proper to engage government officials on this issue. And we have already done that, and it seems like it's also receiving an overwhelming support by majority of the people who take decision in the country. Some of the things that we want to make sure that it can be afforded other countries to say what can happen out, or what can come out of this exercise we are doing that in Zimbabwe. Why can't we also make sure the same thing can be done? Can also be done in Malawi. Can also be done in Nigeria. All these other countries where where human rights are being abused to a point where people you do that with impunity. So this is what we are doing. We have established, or where we are sitting, we are still having 5 lawyers whom we're engaging. Personally, I'm engaging them on a day. I've spoken with the other person that I've spoken with is Mr. Sibanda. I'm sure you know him. He's from Zimbabwe. We had a very lengthy conversation. We might have spent almost an hour yesterday on the call trying to check how can we quickly deal with this issue in a way that it yield result. We understand the issue of jurisdiction of the ICC. We understand that, and it's important that people must understand that it's not like we don't understand what we are doing. We understand that. Possibility might be the fact that the previous and people who have attempted this might not have approached it the way we are approaching it. What we are doing is that we are having we are actually on the also, because the lawyers that we're trying to when I was advised by the lawyers that I'm working with, because I asked them how many lawyers you want on the team. They said, well, for this to be success, get us at least 15 lawyers. I said, isn't it lot 15 lawyers? They said, at least if you can get us that, if it in a worst case scenario get us 11 lawyers, that would be much better. We need a team that is strong, team that is going to be accountable, the team that is going to be transparent about everything that we are going to be doing. There are business people who are already bought on the idea. South African, I'm not talking about Zimbabwean. South African business people who are already bought on the idea, who are even prepared to put money on the table for this to kick off. But I, on my side, I have to do my part to make sure that the team, that the lawyers that I'm consulting, that are my lawyer, personal lawyers that I use on most of the cases that I'm busy with at the moment. I've canvassed the idea and told them that this thing that need to be attended. They said, no, don't worry, we can take it upon ourselves. But we need more team. We need more people to be part of this team. And then we agreed. We also need people who are going to be helping us in terms of the financial disbursement of, because there'll be money. The money that people are going to put on the table, as I've indicated, that there are business people whom I've already approached because I'm saying myself. So now, which means this is an opportunity for people to
Sounds like I lost him. Oh, he went to the listeners. Did something go wrong? Yeah. Scott, can you hear me? Or it's me who is out? Can you hear me?
No,
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's
Bring him
fine.
And
back. It's
I know.
the guy is
Yeah,
experiencing a network problem. We can bring him back.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna come back. So in any guys in the
Right.
Rubasa. So just wait.
It
Yeah.
was me.
Can,
It was me who was already out.
okay, I think he's back. Global South, are you back?
Yes, yes. I don't know where I last make my submission.
Okay, I think
You were talking of how that you have approached the team you are working with, and that there are funds that will be required for disbursements and so on.
Oh yes. As I was indicating, because there's a senior counsel on the team that I'm not going to mention now, but people that I'm engaging, I do time to time tell them who's the senior counsel or who's part of the team. So what they were suggesting was to say, because this has nothing to do with South Africa, it has to do with Zimbabwe. There will be a need because he was in understanding where the resources or the funds will be coming from. There will be a need to also be transparent about the issue of resources that you guys are having. I told him to say this is a situation, the resources are there, but there will be other resources maybe coming from different places. So, but where we are sitting, there are business people that as I'm speaking right now, they are prepared even to put their money on the table for this. And I just said, wait, let me get the team to be ready. But as we're speaking, we're getting information which every time to time, I forward it to the guy who's a lawyer, whom I'm working with a close, we are very close. And then such information is being ventilated, and then we check whether how can it be relevant to what we are trying to do. You might send information, you realize that might not necessarily be relevant with how this case want to be structured. So when we were doing that, we went as far as saying, actually that was the proposal by the very same senior counsel was saying, can we now make this to be a continental project? Shouldn't be only focusing on Zimbabwe. Get us lawyers from other country like Nigeria, DRC, Malawi, especially these hotspots where dictatorship has become the order of the day. Why that? The issue is to say, once this becomes success in Zimbabwe, you can't be a lawyer who was participating on project that has to do with Zimbabwe that becomes successful while you're still under the very same rule, or you have been still subjected to the very same thing that we're fighting against in Zimbabwe. So they ought also to follow the suit. That's why the revolution of political freedom in Africa, it has to start in Zimbabwe. Then it goes all the way to Nigeria. Even Nigeria, they must benefit out of what has to transpire out of Zimbabwe. So now this is what's going to happen. What also did was to identify people that need to be isolated, if I were to put it in a proper word, to be isolated. We know that at the moment, because of in Zimbabwe enjoy this thing of not being part of the ICC. By that, it simply means that they can do whatever they want with impunity, because no one is going to hold them accountable. I don't think even the judges in Zimbabwe, they do hold the executive to be accountable. I doubt. So now with that, what we did was to say, let's isolate people that we think that an enabler of this human rights abuse in the country, in Zimbabwe. Not only because I think the context of what was posted by a certain person on Facebook not entirely exactly what we are saying. We are saying so, which means people are enabling that what is happening in Zimbabwe. They must be identified, and there are at least, I think, 52 people. If you can check on the Jumbo Troll, I posted those names of the people. Some of these people may find out that actually they don't have anything. They didn't contribute that much, but that has to come with based on the evidence that people are submitting to us to say this is what this one contributed to the human rights abuse in the country. You know, things like that. There will be an opportunity where after, when we are done, the team is completely set. There will be a time we are going to have a media briefing where we are going to now officially to say, this is the team, these are the people that are going to be dealing with this. Personally, I'm just doing is to make sure that I coordinate the team. Once it's done, I have little to do with what they do, because I'm not a lawyer. What I just did was to create a platform that this must be canvassed. People can hear what's happening. While this process is happening, it doesn't necessarily mean that the evidence or the atrocity that has been done to Zimbabwean by Zimbabwean government or by individuals who are part and parcel of the Zimbabwean government cannot be ventilated. The process of getting as much as there's evidence now, what I just did, I send it to an individual who's busy dealing with that. Until to a point where now we are saying the guys went on the media briefing, they briefed the country and all sorts of things. Because in between now and then, there will also be a meeting of a government official of South Africa, so we can also get the government support of what we are doing, because we know that there are officials who don't agree with what is happening in South Africa. So those people that we're talking about, they're going to be find themselves in a position where if 52 of them, then they will find that they do indeed have a case based on what we are evidence that is being provided to us. It simply means that when this whole thing is said and done, their businesses has to be they must find it difficult to operate in South Africa. They must find it difficult to operate because they're going to be isolated, and it's also going to give more power to Zimbabweans to say, now these people have been isolated to a point where even their fight back can't be that harsh as it projected at the moment. It will be easy for you guys to stand up and say, no. We have to take back our country. The country of Zimbabwe belongs to Zimbabweans. And then the rest it shall be history. It's all gonna be based on how you guys react. Because it's legal for us to do what has to happen in Zimbabwe, but there can be legal of us to do in solidarity, which is one of these what we are trying to do. So, but all in all, that's what we are doing. I appreciate what Dr. Is it Anidi? Dini, yeah, he said something very profound, and it's something that we're discussing today. It doesn't necessarily mean because I'm in South Africa, I'm immune of the risk of what you guys also subjected to. Because we know that in South Africa, there are also ZANU FP people who also execute the mandate of ZANU LP regime. We are also not necessarily safe. We just make sure that we upend our security system and make sure that we are also prepared, because anything can happen anytime. But it doesn't necessarily mean that people must not act. As risky as it is, people must act, because there will never be any freedom that is gonna come on a silver platter. Thank you very much.